Hello everybody, in this review I'm going to share my opinion about Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I finished the game and I really want to share my opinion whether you should buy this game or not. I was on the fence by the way because everybody said the game is short and I was kind of maybe I should wait for a sale. I actually bought it on a sale for Black Friday. Still, review is a review and I'm going to share my opinion. Ratchet and Clank really feels like, it's a very rich game in terms of gameplay. You can probably finish the game in around 10 hours, maybe 12 hours if you do more, maybe more if you take your time. But what you get in return is a really amazing gameplay experience that just stays with you, and this is what's the most important thing. There's so many games in the past that I played that actually were even shorter, but they left such a great impression that I actually remember the experience until today. Now in this game you're going to play with Ratchet, solve puzzles with Clank, and Rivet, and also with a cute little spider called Glitch.
That's Glitch. She'll help you get onto the Emperor's private shuttle to the tower.
Now, unlike previous game, here Clank and Ratchet will be separated most of the time. Now our goal is to obtain a weapon called the Dimensionator and of course defeat the villain in this game called the Emperor. Now as we do so, we're going to travel to different planets and different dimensions.
That'll work. My way, buddy. Just hang in there for a little bit longer. Huh? It'd be nice.
Hi! Could we please speak with Captain Quantum?
Now as we progress, we're going to get into rifts that allows us to find new armor sets that give us different buffs. We're going to also collect lots of bolts, which are the currency to allow us to buy new weapons. And there are other collectibles you can find that give you trophies, and once again allows you to further customize the look of your character. It's all very satisfying because it's really kind of give you a great sense of exploration. You don't really want to rush the game, you want to further explore and try out to find out all the game has to offer. So there will be side missions, but those are actually fun and feel very rewarding. Now the reason you want to get those, and just a little spoiler there, if you want to skip just half a minute ahead, when you finish the game you're going to have a challenge mode that allows you to get, it could be more challenging and more rewarding. You're gonna spawn with all the weapons that you actually, all the gear that you actually achieved, and you can continue playing from there. Of course you can get things again, but again, it just makes it easier if you get, better gear to actually start the challenge mode straight away. Of course it's even better if you're doing a harder difficulty. You don't really need to equip the armor in order to enjoy its benefits. Actually, by the time you actually unlock it, you already have the benefits, and then you can just wear the one that actually looks, the coolest to you. So, if for example I like the pirate ones, I'm gonna just wear it throughout. It's up to me. But again, I change from time to time just to kind of, play with a different character look. And keep in mind, everything is interchangeable, so if you get things with Rivet and armor or weapons, they're gonna appear with Clank as well. Right, so you don't need to get everything with each character. You can rotate the character and also adjust the colors for each armor set. It's very easy. I just have the option to press square and go to edit color, and from there you can change the colors, which is pretty cool. Really nice. So here I went with pink for Rivet. Now from time to time you're going to find shops which allows you to buy items with using bolts, and new weapons will be introduced to you.
Let's talk with her.
This wasn't what was in my account last time.
Oh, that is because I added our mutual friend on Nefarious
Sprinkler.
City.
Okay.
What is that?
And yeah, there are plenty of weapons, they're so much fun to play. Of course you're going to find the ones that you enjoy playing the most. Some of them are very powerful. Speaking of which, well, how hard is this game? Well, I played on the default difficulty, and I can tell you that the game is easy, alright? Time to time I died, but overall the game is not difficult. You can ramp up the difficulty if you like more challenge when you start the game. And of course, there's the other option that I talked about before, well, when you finish the game. But the thing is that the question is whether you'll be motivated to play it again. Well, that's up to you. Some can play the same game several times, some just, just finish the game and just move on to the next. Now, weapons can be upgraded as well, and this is really fun part. Some of them really worth upgrading. Actually, you get the most potential of the weapons once you upgrade them. There's also the wheel that allows you to quickly control which weapon you want to spawn, and once you do that, actually the game pauses. So if you're in the middle of a combat, you can just pause it, get into the wheel. Just pauses automatically, and then you can continue switching weapons and continue fighting, which is pretty cool. So you can see the different ones you can buy. You can see which one you already bought. And then you can actually go to the upgrade screen only in the shop, and then you can actually upgrade your weapons. And in fact, by the time I finish the game, I have plenty of this material left to upgrade. There are some places on the map where you can actually farm it. It's hidden sometimes here and there, but overall, if you kind of focus on picking it up, you have plenty of to upgrade your gear. Now, before we move on, I want to talk about the cutscenes. They're really well made, they're fun, and really add to the game. Not too many of them, but they're really fun.
And a surveillance state covering the entire city. If only that blasted Dimensionator still worked.
Clank.
Huh?
Now, for those of you who are kind of worried about missing some collectibles, you have got a spaceship which you can travel to other planets. Even after you finish the game, you're going to have the option to just go and just pick up the things that you were able to pick up before. Something to keep in mind if you feel like, you are kind of very, you're a completionist and you feel like, oh my god, if I'm missing something, still you want to progress, you can always, even while playing and finishing missions, you can always go back and traverse through the levels and get all the collectibles, even after you finish the game. But even at the end mission, before the end mission, the game will ask you if you want to start, and by the time you want to consider before the end mission to just go and do everything and then continue to the final boss. Now, combat is amazing in the game. Of course, there are boss fights as well. Now, this is the game really shines on the PlayStation 5 because the visual effects and particle effects are just over the top. It makes combat so satisfying both to play and to watch. So let me show you a few combat sequences apart from this boss fight that you can see here.
Get enough of this laser, can you?
Oh my god, it's so beautiful!
Now, of course, this is a platformer game. You have plenty of platforming with Ratchet and Rivet, but puzzles you're gonna do with Clank. So there are quite a few of them, and they're really fun. Challenging a bit, but it doesn't take you too long to actually finish them. But hey, I really enjoy this part in the game as well.
Zero G on demand.
Now, I want to address the point regarding if the game is too short. Well, let's say it like that, right? Not every game has to be very long, although it does seem that Ratchet and Clank is on the short side. That being said, it's packed with fun and action, and I actually prefer that game that can be 3 times long, and what you do then in between is just, spending time walking and not doing a lot. you know, like some open worlds that everything is kind of stretched out and you spend more time, but most of the time you won't do anything special. And actually, the fact that the levels are not too big, exploration is really fun, satisfying. You really know to do lots of backtracking and all this stuff. Sometimes, of course, when you're searching for things, although if you really kind of on the short time, you can actually see some guides online and find where all the hidden stuff is actually hidden. Now, I bought it, by the way, on sale Black Friday, so I definitely felt that I really got an amazing experience. Whether you should pay a full price for this, well, it's up to you. Again, it's a very personal decision, but I personally waited for it to be on sale before playing it. Now, for me, the game doesn't replay value because I do want to play in the harder challenge mode because I finished the game. So definitely for me, I'm going to do a second run. So overall, I think it's a good value for a game. And again, packed with action and fun. Overall, definitely worth it, regardless of the fact that it's actually relatively short. Now, the game heavily uses haptic feedback and adaptive triggers, and it does it so beautifully. Now, personally, my favorite is Astro's Playroom when it comes to demonstrating, you know, what the adaptive triggers and haptic feedback is all about. But this one heavily uses it, and in many situations, it's even more satisfying than Astro's Playroom. There are some really patterns, which of course I can't demonstrate, that were so well made, that it was so addicting. I can just continue using them forever. Really, some of them are absolutely a blast. So I think it's not fair to do a comparison, just so you know that if you really want a game that takes really great use of the DualSense controller, this is definitely one of these games, if not one of the best, if not for some, the best that you can find right now on the PlayStation 5. Now, this really connects you with what happens in the game. This is kind of a, you know, tactile feeling that really makes the game more fun to play, right? Forget about big words, immersion and stuff. Just saying, it just makes the gameplay more fun. You really feel you're part of the game in some way, and this is really an amazing experience. I mean, if you try to turn it off, you can see the difference. It's just more fun to play the game with it turned on. So overall, if you are searching for a game that heavily uses the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers, well, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart should be at one of the top of your list. Now overall, again, I wish it was longer, yes, but it definitely worth the price that I paid for it. And I bought it on sale, by the way, so whether you decide to buy it in full price, it's up to you. But overall, the game has so much to offer. It looks absolutely stunning, but it's not like it's just stunning. The gameplay is so immersive and addicting. Combat is absolutely a blast, and finding things in the world and exploring the world, although the world is not huge, still feels very satisfying. Because of course there's less backtracking, you focus on action rather than just walking around and, you know, doing things that just prolong the game. Every minute in this game is just pure fun. Now, the characters are really lovable, I really enjoy the interaction, and the cutscene, not too many of them, again, really well balanced. So if you don't like games with tons of cutscenes, here it's really well balanced. Now, the art situation was, it felt just a bit glitchy in certain areas where I wanted to explore, and I felt that, you know, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Usually when you get in a situation where it's a bit glitchy and you can get to a certain place, probably you're doing something wrong. In most cases, I was actually going in the wrong place. But the game really doesn't tell you, so we can actually explore different areas where we can actually get stuck. And I got stuck in certain areas where I need to use the respawn button in order to get out of there. There's always an option to do this, by the way, so, you know, if you get stuck, you can't move, you can do that. So Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is not a game only for Ratchet and Clank fans. It's for everybody who's searching for a great experience on the PlayStation 5. Again, that heavily uses the features of the DualSense controller, and again, it's done amazingly well in this game, guys, amazingly well. I personally definitely going to do a second run with harder difficulty and see what actually awaits for me there. But overall, my bottom line recommendation is get this game. If you can get it on sale, get it. You own the PlayStation 5, you own yourself a great game like this. Now, I do have to admit that I wish it was as expensive with A as Psychonauts 2. Well, which was one of my favorite games in 2021. So yeah, I wanted more. I would definitely wanted more of this, and in that aspect it was a disappointment, but again, overall, taking everything into account, it was definitely worth my time and money spent. Yeah, overall, highly recommended. Get this game, have fun, have a blast. This is one that you will remember, and this is what games are all about. It's not just, you know, what you actually experience during the game, it's actually the impressions that the game leave on you after you play it. Both of them. So this is a game that I definitely remember, and of course I'm going to do a second run as well. And I also want to mention before ending this review that the game also supports ray tracing, your different options, and HDR as well. So you can choose, for example, play at higher resolution, or you play ray tracing in 60 FPS. And playing 60 FPS with ray tracing is actually what I chose, and it looks absolutely incredible. Ray tracing really adds the touches of realism, especially for reflections, and it looks absolutely amazing. Definitely recommend playing with ray tracing on. Also, the game looks amazing with HDR, so again, if you can want to enable it and you have an HDR supporting monitor, I highly recommend doing it. Based on my experience, you need to disable 120 Hz and then you'll be able to play with HDR if you have problem actually running this with both. Now, last note regarding replayability, I already start playing a second run through with the challenge mode, and I actually find new weapons that I haven't been able to unlock before, and there's some called Omega versions of current weapons which I can actually continue and leveling up above the level that are actually maximum level for the previous one. So again, more weapons, better weapons, you'll be able to level up your favorite weapons as well, and of course more challenging mode, and it is more challenging. I already start playing it on challenge mode, so highly recommend trying it yourself. If you finish the game and you want to challenge yourself, find out more weapons and upgrade your current ones, you'll have lots of fun. So yeah, good replay value overall even after you finish the game. So this is it. Hope you enjoyed this review. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you very soon on the next video. Consider subscribing to my channel and give this one a little like. See you soon on the next one. Thanks for watching. Cheers.